How are you doing? I just wanted to talk about the series opener of the new Doctor Who series. Oh my god, I was so excited for this. It's been the breaks between Doctor Who episodes are so hard to bear. It's unbearable, to be honest. But I really enjoyed this episode, just, off the bat. I know many people are skeptical of this new era, which to be honest, is justified. It's a very new direction that the show's being taken into. But so far, I've not been taking it super seriously. I've just been going in with an open mind, not knowing what to expect. Not wishing for it to be any certain way. Just hoping for some good television, really. And in my opinion, that's what we've been treated to so far. First of all, the performances are amazing. Ncuti and Millie, I have fallen in love with utterly. Their dynamic is just so perfect. I was expecting to be reminded of Rose, to be honest, when we first got introduced to Millie. But now that we've gotten to know her a bit better, and the way she interacts with the Doctor, I get more Donna vibes, to be honest. Just with their kind of very light-hearted, pally relationship, They're just like two excited siblings, and I'm absolutely here for it. They're just brilliant. I love them so much. Ncuti is gorgeous. He's just putting in a beautiful performance so far. His energy is contagious, and he's completely unique so far. I'm really enjoying him. The way he can turn serious, like he can be completely childlike as Matt Smith was, and then turn in an instant, like all the best Doctors can. And the way he's kind of very emotionally open, which is something we've never really seen before. He's still mysterious, and his past is very up to interpretation with the Timeless Child and everything. Which, by the way, I'm not a fan of the Timeless Child, but I am so in awe of how they've handled it and how Russell has written it and kind of played into the emotional aspect and not focused too much on the kind of Time Lord lore and the history of Gallifrey and everything and the complicated aspects of it and the contradictions, but just the emotional pull of the Doctor possibly being adopted and having these parallels with Ruby as well, and these kind of realistic experiences of being adopted. I feel like that's been dealt with really cleverly and powerfully, and Ncuti delivers it marvelously. In terms of this episode, I was apprehensive coming into it, knowing the concept of it with the space babies and everything. And I was still apprehensive on the first watch, actually. I wasn't in love with it. And I was kind of scared that this is what the new series would be like. But I've watched it 2 more times since. I've watched it 3 times in total. I watched it when it dropped at midnight, then the following morning, and then when it was broadcast on the BBC in the evening of the Saturday. And with each rewatch, I've just become more in love with it. For me, on initial watch, the second episode, which I do also want to talk to you about later, that was by far superior in my opinion. And then with each rewatch, this first step is just worming its way into my heart more and more. The way Ncuti and Millie interacted with the babies. Jocelyn was a wonderful character. I loved her. The bogeyman looked incredible. Like some of those scenes were really genuinely creepy. And yeah, the whole idea of it, I just really became more fond of the more I watched it. And to be honest, the concept as a whole is why I was apprehensive at first. But by the end of the episode, I just couldn't help but care for the space babies and, feel for their situation and the emotions that we went through, the way the Doctor and Millie interacted with them. It was just so beautiful and, like, it was really powerful in my opinion. And that's just a credit to the actors and the writer and, the music and the direction and the sets, because it just made it believable and it made you care despite the ridiculousness of the situation. And I think that's when Doctor Who is at its best, because, it's a drama, but it's a sci-fi drama, it deals with fantasy and monsters and far out crazy situations a lot of the time. But it's the actors and it's the writing and it's the music and it's all of these things that make it a full package that just make you care. Even if you don't want to, even if you don't want to give a shit about these babies, but you just end up doing so because of the performances and the delivery and the execution of this idea. That's why I love Doctor Who, and I think this episode was the epitome of that. It wasn't my favourite, but I think it does its job as a series opener, to be honest. It was a really enjoyable watch, which I think, going in with no expectations, that's a positive thing. I'm not complaining in the slightest. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say on it. Please let me know your thoughts. I know it's very divided. It's really split the fandom. Shock. I know, surprise, surprise, but I'd really love to know your thoughts. Yeah, and I look forward to hopefully talking to you about the Maestro and the second episode. So I'll see you then. Apart from that, I hope you're enjoying this new era. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.